Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with all of the big news this week surrounding the WWE announcing a World Heavyweight Championship tournament to crown a new champion due to the fact that Seth Rollins had an injury and is not going to be able to defend his championship. Basically Monday Night Raw and SmackDown became must-watch shows this week. So I took to the streets to make sure that I'd be able to cover every single match of the tournament. And there's going to be 3 big matches that were held on SmackDown tonight, so it ended up being a pretty good show. You had the Wade Barrett versus Neville match. You had Kalisto going up against Ryback, and then Alberto Del Rio sort of in the wild card match going up against Stardust. But a very, very good match. That was early on in SmackDown was King Barrett going up against Neville. They did a lot of beatdown. Neville took a lot of beating in this match, man. This guy really got beat down. As one of the smaller guys inside of WWE, that's always the sort of role that they're going to take. But it was Neville who ended up getting the win over Barrett. And he's going to be moving on to fight Kevin Owens in the next round on Monday Night Raw. But this was a very, very fun match. Like I said, it was Wade Barrett putting the beating down on Neville throughout the match. They did a spot where basically Wade Barrett hung Neville in the ring over the top rope and then just slammed him, and he landed head down into the mat. Neville rolled to the outside to sort of sell his head, and he was sort of holding it like, this really hurts. And then after that, Wade Barrett came to the outside. He slammed his head into the announce table, launched him into the barricade. Barrett, took more of a beating to Neville out there, and then he even took some time to sort of, brag and boast about the beating that he was giving to Neville right there in this match. He went over to the announcers, told everybody that he was going to be the next world champion. Neville was able to find time during this little break in the matchup. He did a sort of the Jeff Hardy spot where he jumped up on the barricade, and then he hit like a flippy dive off of there, and then he got back into the ring where he was able to use some kicks, and he hit a shooting star press, which looked like he was going to be the win, but he was only able to get a 2 count. Barrett fought back, ended up getting control of the match again. Barrett started beating down on Neville. They got to a spot where it was a real close 2, almost a 3 count. And then, they just, kept on going before we saw the red arrow on Barrett to get the win. So on Monday Night Raw, we're going to see Neville against Kevin Owens. It should be a very fun, very entertaining matchup. I've heard about the Pac versus Kevin Steen matches from the independent days, and this one really should be a good one. This should be an entertaining match to bring a lot of fans in that maybe are hip to the indies, that aren't really down on watching I guess you can say Monday Night Raw. But this should be a very fun, entertaining match to take place. I think it's going to be a good one, and you guys should check it out on Monday.